everyone. Today's video is not about glass, at least not directly. In my last video on photo masks, I mentioned that creating images for masks would be a subject for another video. Well, this is that video. I'm going to follow an exercise that I used to have my GRAL students do. First, I'll create a random drawing by hand using a black Sharpie. And then I'll scan that image and bring it into Photoshop and modify it. And then I'll create a pattern out of that image. Finally, I'll size the pattern to fit my blank, make the mask, and blast my pattern onto the blank. Are you ready? Let's do it. First, I take a sheet of paper and a black Sharpie and make a random drawing. It actually doesn't matter much what the drawing is. In fact, the simpler the better. For my demo in this video, I'm actually going to blindfold myself to draw the image. My blindfold is a bandana made by my friend Kit Paulson. If you want one of these, you can contact her. There's a link in the description. And so here we go.
The next thing I like to do is connect the two ends of my scribble. I use a straight edge and draw a straight line, well, mostly straight, connecting them.
Now the image must be digitally scanned, but you don't need a scanner. I use a really cool iPhone app called Genius Scan that does a great job. The app is free and fast and very easy to use.
I open Genius Scan, scan the image, and export it to my photos. Then I airdrop it to my laptop and open it in Photoshop. So here is my scribble digitized. I can see that there are areas and shapes that I can select and fill, so I'm going to do some experimenting and see what I can come up with. I use the magic wand tool to select and fill specific areas of the image. Now, I need to adjust my brightness and contrast to make sure there are no gray areas where the fill and the scribble meet. Well, that is a bit more interesting. Now I want to lift this black image off the page and make it into its own layer. To do this, I select it by color range. Set the tolerance to 200 and click the eyedropper on any black part of the image. In the preview window, it should turn white. Click OK and the black part of the image is selected. Now press Command X or in Windows Control X to cut the black region and copy it to the clipboard. There may be some artifacts left behind, but don't worry, we'll get rid of them. Press Command A or Control A in Windows to select all and click Edit Fill. In the dialog box, select white and click OK. Now your background is filled with white and the artifacts are gone. Command V or Control V to paste And now your black image is a new layer over the background. On the right, you will find your layers palette where you can clearly see the two layers. Now I have to resize the canvas to fit my blank. I've measured my blank at 105 millimeters by 70 millimeters. Press Option-Command-I or Alt-Control-I in Windows to bring up the image size dialog box. Uncheck the resample box and type in 300 in the resolution box and click OK. Now press Option-Command-C or Alt-Control-C in Windows to bring up the Resize Canvas dialog box. Make sure millimeters is selected in the units box. Type in 105 for width and 70 for height and click OK. Depending on how big the original scan was, the black image may be clipped. Don't worry, we're going to scale it down anyway. On the Layers palette, select the layer with the black image. Click Edit, Transform, Scale. Little boxes representing handles will appear. Grab a corner and scale the image down until it fits on the background. At this point, I have my original black image scaled down on a white background the size of my blank. What I'm going to do now is make multiple copies of the image and arrange them into a pattern. With the image layer selected, I click Layer, Duplicate Layer, and then I click OK. Another layer with the black image is created, but I cannot see it. This is because it is positioned directly over the first layer. I select the Move tool and drag the second image to the right. Now I have two versions of my image side by side. Now it is time to get creative. How do the two images look side by side? Do they fit together? Would they be more interesting if they were rotated? How about if they were translated instead? Here, I like a mirror copy, so I select Edit, Transform, Flip Horizontal. I position the copy next to the original. Then, I click Command-E or Control-E in Windows to merge the two layers into one. Now I repeat this process. I click Layer, Duplicate Layer, and move the new layer off the old one. I can place the new layer anywhere, above, below, either side, or even off-center. If I want the new layer to align precisely with the first one, Photoshop will display pink lines to indicate when the two layers are aligned. I find an interesting position for the new layer and merge them again. By repeating this process, I quickly create a pattern. I scale the result to fit the canvas using Edit, Transform, Distort. Remember that the left and right edge will meet, and so the pattern must continue there.
And there you have it. Let's finish this demo by making the mask and blasting the blank. To see how this part is done, please refer to my previous video on making photo masks.
And here is the result. Not bad for starting with a random scribble. I hope you learned something about computer graphics today and will be able to apply this to your work.
If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe. Share, tell your friends, and come back here often. I'll be posting new videos regularly. See you all next time.